Hi there, back again for another wonderful chapter of A Night Divided. We really hit some huge parts of the story. Last time we listened, they heard digging on the other side of the wall and wasn't sure who it was going to be. Like a pole came through and was like searching around to see what was going on. And then all of a sudden she heard voices again and she recognized a voice, and it was Papa who was singing their song. He found him. Chapter 39. I was aware that it could all be horribly wrong. This is from someone who escaped East Germany with his family in a hot air balloon in 1979. I remember I told you there used to be a movie about that, people trying to escape in a hot air balloon. Fritz immediately started to widen the hole, but after a quick greeting, Papa warned him to stop. Why? It took real effort to keep from kicking the dirt wall down entirely, and my tone showed it. Miss Gerda, how I have missed you. Papa's voice wavered a bit, then began serious again as he said it. We're too shallow. We've been measuring this morning, and we're certain that we've been slowly tunneling uphill. Last night, we heard the dogs over us. They might even be able to detect us below. We heard barking, and maybe we're the reason why. Then let's dig lower. The impatience I felt streaked through me like a raw energy. The fact that we were just sitting here so close and yet conversing through a tiny hole in the dirt was impossibly frustrating. Mama stepped forward and put her hand on my shoulder. Patience, Gerda. This must be done right. There was silence, and then my father's voice broke as he was crying. Katrina, my dear wife, is that you? I looked at my mother, and in the low light saw tears on her cheek. It's me, I'm here, she answered. Aldous! I tried to get back to you, my love, all this time. Mama pressed her hand against the wall, as if touching it brought her closer to my father, and suddenly I felt the shame for my anger towards her all of these last 4 years, when my father seemed to have held on to nothing but his love for her. Who was I to judge her when he had not? In an apology, I wrapped my arms around her and nestled closer as she brought me against her side. Then another voice came through. Mama? I didn't recognize it. But only one person would have said that word. Dominic? Mother pressed even closer against the dirt. She folded a little, and for the first time, I began to understand how painful it must have been to be separated from one of her children. Tears fell from my eyes, but with such a filthy hand, I could only let them fall. Behind me, even Fritz sniffled with his emotions. You never should have dug this tunnel, Fritz, Papa said. The danger of it... Careful who you blame, Fritz said. It was Gerda who started this. Gerda? He stopped and he chuckled lightly. I see that she is no less strong-headed than the night I left. My wonderful, brave girl. I should have known. Even from here, I heard his sigh. You suggested it, Papa. I saw you. I only wanted you to know we were coming, he said, so you could be ready. Fritz gave me a look. That was exactly what he had told me. Then Papa continued. So now that we're this close, I'm glad you did. We'd have been another couple of weeks to get to you. Let us keep digging, Fritz said. We can open this tunnel in a few hours. Then we must dig deeper, Papa said. I don't like the way the dirt looks above us. It's like clay beneath our feet, Fritz said. It'll take a month to bridge the tunnel if we have to get lower. But he started anyways. The tunnel wasn't wide enough here for Mama and I to help, and Fritz wasn't emptying enough of the dense packed soil to require us to remove it. Papa said that he had to go back to help carry out some dirt. We promised him that we would wait here. Hour after hour passed with very little progress on our end. The dirt on Papa's side was collapsing and sealed up the hole he had made with the stick, and even the little gap Fritz had made. Then Fritz suggested he and Mama should better fortify our end of the tunnel, for when the entire gap was broken open. We need more bricks, Fritz then said, eyeing the dirt above him. If it starts to collapse when we join these tunnels, I want to be ready. There's still some bricks left upstairs, I offered. Not many, but maybe one more pile on the main floor. Be careful, Mama said. Send them down in a bucket when you're ready, and I'll load them into the tunnel. I hurried out of the shelter, up the ladder into the basement, and then up the stairs onto the main floor. The bricks were indeed there as I thought, but it occurred to me that in this daylight I could possibly see into the death strip and confirm that our propped-up door had repaired the dark patch on the ground. It was a terrible risk to be up there with no shadows to keep me in the safe zone, but I was also becoming used to risks, and this one had to be taken. I crept to the upper floor, aware of each step I took and of even the smallest movement I made. I went slowly and kept my body pressed to the wall as if I were part of it. The windows in the front of me were missing their glass, but if I stayed low, that would be the best place for a view. All it would take was for the watchtower guard to look at this building while my head was visible, and it would be over. Alarms would sound, dogs would be called, shots would be fired. Nobody would be quicker to acknowledge the stupidity of me being up here on the very same day as we would surely break through to my father. But I thought about what Papa had said, that they had gone too shallow, and that worried me. I would look very quickly, no hesitation, no stares, just the quickest glance into the center of the death strip. So fast that if I happened to catch the corner of a guard's eye, when he looked again, I would be gone, and he would assume it was a trick of the light. The best news would be to see that the dark spot was entirely gone. There wasn't much chance of that, but I hoped at least it would be no worse, and then I would look a little farther on, to Papa's side of the tunnel. After brushing away the sweat from my palms, I peeked through the window, but suddenly couldn't tear myself away. I've heard the phrase frozen in fear, but never understood it before. Not like I did in that moment. When I finally forced myself back against the wall, my heart was racing so much that I could barely breathe. Nobody had seen me, or at least no alarms were sounding. But our problem was just as awful. A line seemed to be caving in on Papa's side. It wasn't just one little sunken area like ours was. Papa's entire tunnel was going to collapse. Stop! I cried once I re-entered the tunnel, and I flew past Mama in the shelter, ignoring her questions about what had taken me so long, and grabbed Fritz's arm. Papa's tunnel is collapsing, just like ours. I saw it just now. I went to the upper floor and I saw it. Fritz's mouth opened and then it shut, and then he used the handle of the shovel to push another hole through to Papa's side. He wasn't there, but Dominic was, and Fritz relayed our panicking message. Instantly, he heard Don run, calling for our father. When Papa returned to talk with us, Fritz told him the danger signs that he had noticed earlier on our end. I see it here, Papa said. There are fissures in the earth where it began to separate. How have I missed it? Gerda said the problem runs through most of the length of your tunnel. You have to prop it up now, Fritz cried. Use anything you have, bricks or wood or anything that will hold it up. Get out of your end, Papa said. If our tunnel collapses, yours will go down too. We can't, Fritz said. We have to finish tonight. If I don't report for military service tomorrow, they will arrest me. Do not report there, Papa said. Do you hear me? If they get hold of you, we'll never get you out again. Come back early in the morning. If I haven't stabilized this tunnel by then, it'll be too late anyways. I want you all to make preparations to leave. Either you pass through this tunnel tomorrow, or you will all have to leave the city and hide until we can figure out another way. Aldous, Mama cried. If it collapses and you're in there, get out, Papa said. Now that I'm looking, the failure is worse than I thought. Can we help? Mama said. Papa's voice was firm, just the way I remembered it on the night he said goodbye 4 years ago. Please, Katrina, get my children out of that tunnel. I can't work. If I have to worry about you too. We had no choice. We ran from the tunnel without knowing whether we would ever see it again, whether we would ever see our father again, or ever again have a chance at freedom. Oh, man. We thought they were going to connect, quickly pull the wall down, boom, through they go, story over. Well, guess what? Obviously, I'm wrong because looky here. Still a lot of the book left. So obviously, I'm not right. We are on page 259, and the book goes to a long time still. Looks like 317. Yeah, a lot more is going to happen. We don't know, but a lot more. Could the tunnel collapse? Could they have gone through all of this for no reason at all? Oh, man. We'll find out more next time. Thanks for listening.